Welcome back, tribe. Have one here from Men Only. Single, unmarried, modern women outraged as 70% of men are going their own direct.
One of my favorite parts about life is when you start to like a guy.
You know, if there's one thing that will never cease to amaze me, it's how when women have a question about how men are thinking or what they may want, instead of asking men, they do what they've done for eternity now. They go to women and ask them what men think and feel. Because in their minds, they think women know better than men what it is that they think and feel. Usually because women are going to tell them what they want to hear, and men, well, they're going to be honest with them. Brutally honest. What's even more amazing is how they use that approach when it comes to relationships. How they'll ask other women what men are thinking and feeling about relationships or what they want, instead of asking the men. Like this one.
Okay, I need to know something. For those of you that are married, how did you get your significant other to see the value in getting engaged and getting married?
Now, with all due respect to this lovely young lady, and I don't mean to disparage her in any way, she's asking the question of the wrong people. She's asking women what they did, instead of saying to men, what did she do? And the reason she did that is because she doesn't want to actually hear the truth of what men are going to tell her. No, she wants to get her beliefs reinforced, which is exactly what happened in all the comments.
Unfortunately, America is not a society that's family forward thinking. All the knowledge that's being passed down to the young women generation after generation now in America is just how to get a man's attention, not how to keep a man. Women have zero game when it comes to keeping a man long term, which is why our divorce rate is what it is, which is why our marriage rate is now plummeting, which is why nobody wants to have kids anymore, which is why men are now going overseas or their own way, simply because it's just not worth it to get married in the West. It's no longer even worth it to have a relationship in the West. A lot of men are just checking out completely and going, hey, dude, it's not worth it. The cards are tilted against me. I'm putting in 10 times the effort to get a woman that's 10 times less than what my grandmother was. It's called hoflation. It's real. It's here to stay and only getting worse. We haven't hit peak yet. Society's crumbling with degeneracy, hedonism, consumerism, materialism all around us. It's getting worse and worse and worse. People are more brainwashed today than they've ever been. The cell phone in a woman's hands is practically surgically attached to her. It's making them not have a single original thought. Men are going on dates with robots, NPCs. It's actually funny. There's a bunch of videos online that you can watch where guys are mocking what it's like going on a date with a woman, where they literally say the same shit. I'm not like other girls though. And like, I don't like to party. I don't really go out that much. Literal robot NPC spewing machines. Not a single original thought. No one teaches them how to keep a man, what a man is looking for. They don't want to ask what men want. And then they're surprised at the hypersexualization, getting pumped and dumped by Chads and Tyrones, casual hookup culture. All this is blowing up in their faces, and they cannot hold on to a man longer than a few weeks because they have nothing to offer a man. And then they're surprised why dudes are going overseas, starting families, freeing themselves financially, and get a breath of fresh air when they deal with actual, real feminine women. It is what it is, man. Try to teach these girls. They don't want to listen, though. They want their cake and cherry on top. They don't want to come to the table, negotiate. They don't want to compromise on anything. And they're surprised nobody wants to put a ring on it.
From the women on her video. They all told her a bunch of stuff which isn't even remotely close to the truth. Oh, sure, a few of them might have been, but the majority of them were just a rehash of what women want from men in a relationship, not what men want from women. It's why they're throwing out things like, well, I had a great career or job, or I owned a house, or any of the other things that women look for in relationships. Not men. It was actually pretty funny reading through the comments and realizing that these women have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. And yet they're all reinforcing that they do and piling on, which isn't helping this young lady at all. In other words, they're trying to validate what she's already thinking in her mind. And that's exactly what she wants them to do. But is that going to help her? Not a chance.
It hurts me to even be posting this, but I have waited so long for those things and they haven't happened yet. He can't see this video. I totally blocked him.
It's amazing how they think that men don't find out about what they're posting online. Just because you blocked him doesn't mean he ain't seeing that video. In fact, I can almost guarantee you he is. Oh, he may not tell you, but if he's not asking you to be his wife, there's a clue to one of the reasons why. Because you're showing you cannot be trusted. That what occurs in your relationship, you're going to put out into the public instead of keeping it private. And privacy is something men cherish, along with respect, which again, you're showing him no respect by making this video. Because instead of asking him what the problem is, instead of having an honest, frank discussion, you've decided to put it out on the internet, to ask all the girlies to decide for him. It shows clearly you have absolutely no respect for what he wants or needs. So there's clue number one, why he hasn't asked you.
But like girl to girl, what are some of the things that you did to accomplish that? Because I'm really struggling to get him to see my perspectives and how much marriage would mean to me.
Oh, dear God. It's like clockwork, isn't it? What marriage means to you. Here's a thought. Why don't you ask him what marriage means to him? Why don't you sit down and ask him, why haven't you asked me to marry you? What is it I'm not doing? And perhaps more appropriately, what is it I am doing that has caused you to not ask me to marry you? You know, things like posting your dirty laundry out on the internet, for example.
I love this man and we have built so much together and I don't want to leave him.
But, and we all know what's coming next, she's going to make it about her and talk about what she wants. What he wants, not part of the conversation, which again is part of the problem. Men are tired, over, and done with the narcissistic me attitude of today's modern women. The one where their wants and needs are the priority, the only priority. And the wants and needs of men are irrelevant.
But at the same time, I don't have those things that I have been asking for. And he says it's really selfish of me to ask for them.
Which is him directly telling you he doesn't want to marry someone who makes it all about her and doesn't care in the least about him. The reason he hasn't asked you is literally right in your video. It is that obvious, at least to the men. The women, not so much. And with all due respect, ladies, this is exactly why men are done and walking away from all of you. It's why they're done with dating, done with the relationships, and done with marriage. You all keep talking about what you want to get from the relationship or marriage, but none of you are saying what you're going to give in the relationship or marriage, other than, well, this. And as I've said a million times, this ain't worth what you think it is, at least not to men. There's plenty of this to go around without having to marry it.
So I don't know. Help a girl out. I need some advice. Let me know.
Well, I just did, but let me summarize it for you. If you want a man to ask you to marry him, you need to give him what he's looking for. And no, it's not that you have a big career or that you own a house or that you pay your bills or that you have a big rack or a great butt. No, it comes down to a few things. It comes down to things like respect, honesty, commitment, privacy, acknowledgement, and the biggest one of all, peace. Are you bringing peace to his life? So if he's not asking you for your hand in marriage, you can be pretty much guaranteed that you're not giving him one or more than likely any of those things. And until you do, he's not going to ask you to marry him.
I feel sorry for men, and I never thought I would say that. On my side, I work with the elderly people. I go to the houses, I clean for them. And the difference in life I've seen is crazy. If a woman lives alone, the quality of her life, the lifespan of her life is so much longer than a man who lives alone. The house is not well kept. The standards are not high. But if a man lives with a woman, his life is perfect to the T. And I'm telling you, men out there, you might think now that you're a bachelor, you're going to live the best life. You're going to hit up all of these women on the side. But the day it clicks for a woman that she's is better off living alone, I'ma tell you, your life looks like.
Even wearing that, this is why you don't bring them back to the United States. You see what you get? You see how the mentality just seeps in? See what I told you? This is why men in the comments say, whatever you do, do not bring them back. This is what happens. It doesn't matter how religious you claim you are, how traditional. Here's the end result. Another one that's delusional, that thinks women are empowered by being alone. That collecting cats and box wine is somehow a positive thing, that having your eggs dried up and choosing a career over family somehow will derive you more pleasure, more happiness, make you feel more content and proud of the decision you made. That's not true. Being alone isn't good for men or women. This isn't a competition. The reality, if you're alone at 70-something years old, is brutal for men and women. You should have a big family around you. You should fight like hell to find a good person to marry. Start a family, have as many kids as you could afford. Because life at the end is fucking meaningless when you don't have somebody to share it with, a spouse, or children to see grow up, your own seed that spurs you to live longer, spurs you to do more. endless, boundless motivation you get from watching mini-me's growing up around you, getting to relive childhood through their eyes. These people are idiots. Don't listen to any of them.
Like a dark hole. Because I promise you, it has been the biggest culture shock for me, how men alone live and how a woman alone lives, how she's just thriving. She's living her best life. And if she's also married, they still live in a quality life. And I'm just telling you, man, you have to be mindful. You have to be very demure. Think about your future and stick with one lady.
Tell me why the guy I'm dating has to make a point of him paying every time we go out. So we normally just hang out at home.
Hair color, no shit. You want to be strong, independent? You look like a feminazi man-eater? Yeah, pay half the bill. Strong, independent boss babe. Go on then. Bust your wallet out. Equality, yeah?
But every now and then we'll go out for dinner. He has asked me out to dinner. He has picked the restaurant and he will pick me up and then take me there. And then we're at dinner and he's like, I'm paying for this tonight. Or he'll say something like, and just to let you know, this one's on me. Obviously, it's on you. I didn't even bring my purse, my wallet. I don't have Apple Pay set up. Does he want a medal for like the bare minimum? But it's just eking me out lately. It's like, obviously, you're paying. You asked me here. I was at home doing my own thing.
That shit is so wild, dude. You see during the daytime on some of my videos, my woman's at home cooking. I don't deal with any of this shit. This is why I tell you boys, go overseas. I put videos all up on the second channel, walk around Bucharest. You can see what the girls look like here. I told you what the quality of life difference is. I tell you how society views the genders here, how men view women and how women view men. The traditional gender roles are alive. She doesn't bitch. She's smoking hot. Doesn't cry about cooking. Loves to do it. Makes bomb food. Always have a fresh meal ready. No complaints. None of this shit. Treats me like a king, so I treat her like a queen. Doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't go out, doesn't hang out with dudes. Didn't even get the shot. No clot shots. And they're out here. They're abundant outside of the degenerate West. You just have to have the balls to get a blue book, a plane ticket, stay for an allotted amount of time so you could properly vet them, and you will find good, decent women all around the world. Or you can deal with pink hair who likes to make TikTok videos because a guy says this one's on me while giving him the I'm empowered spiel, don't need no man. Probably conditioning him in some way to have to go out of his way to show you that he's willing to be a traditional man and pay for the date.
Australia is so hard. I lived in London for 7 years.
Tearing the other down.
Dating as a 30-year-old in Australia is so hard. I lived in London for 7 years. Guys would come up to you, bars, like come up to you on the street, ask for your number, like not even in a creepy, annoying way, in a way that it was like flattering or like it just is like normal human communication. Dating in Australia, not only is the dating pool so small because there's less people, I guess, the amount of effort that Australian guys put in is insane. It's just nothing. Like they just want to mess.
You're 30 now. So you lived for 7 years in London. You went from 23 to 30. And you're surprised when you went back home, you're not getting the same attention you got like you did when you were in London. Boy, oh boy, does the wall come hard and fast. So oblivious to it.
Message you for months and never ask you out and never meet up. And I'm like, what's your aim here? Like, do you just want a pen pal? Do you just want a friend to message when you're bored? Like, let's hang out. Let's go to the fucking beach because there's beaches here. Let's go get a drink. Like you could literally just do anything. Now I just have like 50 guys on my Instagram in my DMs messaging me and like replying to my stories. I'm like, you're my fans. I'm not dating you. You're just a fan.
Not trying to flex, but it kind of is a flex. I have no idea what y'all are talking about with these month-long, 6-month-long situationship, like talking stages. I can't relate. I've never been in one of those. I never will be. Because you can tell the guys who are just going to string you along like that from the first date, in my opinion. Like, their effort right off the bat will literally tell you. Why would you even be attracted to a guy who strings you along forever? Like, if a guy isn't trying to lock you down after like date 2, I'm sorry, I know that seems soon, but like he doesn't like you. Like, men, if you literally were on a date with your dream woman, wouldn't you want to get her away from the other men pursuing her like immediately? If you like her a lot? Yeah. He's ashamed to be with you. Like, if he's in a long talking stage with you, he is ashamed to be with you. And that should give you the ick. Stop giving yourself trust issues and trauma for what? And feeling bad about yourself for what? There's probably tons of guys who could have wasted my time if I let them. I'm not going to let them. Bye.
I mean, you know, He's made solid points. If a man's interested, he'll show his interest. But can't take you seriously with the horrible lip job. Jesus.
Is it so challenging to find emotionally intelligent, available men?
You present yourself as the fun chick. You tell stupid stories about sexcapades in college. You don't know how to cook. You can't clean. You don't show any effort. The guy puts in all the work on the date. He's always stringing the conversation along. You sound like a robot NPC. You probably asked him what his asparagus sign was in retrograde. Excuse me. And then you expect him to be interested in you and emotionally available. A guy will be immediately emotionally available for a woman that hits all the check mark. Just like the girl said in that previous video, it's true. If you look like a keeper, a guy will make it known. Sorry, you told on yourself. You're a catch and release only.
I'm starting to think like I'm too picky. And by this rate, baby, I think I'm going to be single for a long time. And that's okay. Like, I love myself. And I really do need someone that's going to be obsessed with me in a healthy way. Just
cats, boxed wine. Just start preparing.
the way I feel about myself. I love me. So you should love me too.
Shocker why she's still single with no man and probably won't have one anytime soon. They whine when we don't pay for dinner, and now they whine when we do, and they wonder why men are going their own way. In response to the Muslim caretaker, I work with the elderly too. The best houses are usually because the man paid for her lifestyle. He set her up so she could relax in comfort. Social media has destroyed generations of women. If a woman's friends aren't saints, block her and ghost her. These are the people who influence her life and choices. You cannot get rid of her friends. That's a good gem that people forget all the time. Birds of a feather flock together. You know, you are the average of the people you hang out with. There's many ways that was said, but pay very close attention to your woman and the women she associates herself with. If she hangs out trash, your woman is trash. If she's got hoe friends, your woman is one too. If all her friends stay at home, do cool girly things, knit some sweaters, I don't know, whatever it is, wine nights and reading books and whatever it is, cool, dude, you got yourself a really interesting chick. If all her friends are out in the club getting absolutely smashed, talking about crazy stories of hooking up with dudes, and your chick's the one in a relationship, cool. It's a matter of time, dude, cool. All right. That influence will break apart your relationship, and then you're going to wake up one day talking about, stop being so insecure. I'm just going to go out, hang out with the girls. I'm not going to do anything. I'm in a relationship, while she's gobbling up some Chad. Been there, done that, seen it. She'll be doing her darnest to keep her voice as straight and consistent as possible while she's getting piped by a dude on the phone, acting innocent with you. Okay. Let me know what you guys think. If you haven't, follow the second channel. Appreciate everybody who's been buying shirts, people signing up for the private community and doing the consultations. Looking forward to having more people on the private calls, share some more stories, some wisdom, learn a thing or two. And we'll see you guys on the next one.